A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to Diplomatic Faces. And on Diplomatic Faces, we discuss the vital influence of geopolitics and the meaningful contributions of global leaders towards the betterment of the country and also towards the betterment of the community overall. And today on Diplomatic Faces, we'll be featuring a very important personality. We have with us His Excellency Khalid Nasser Soleiman, who is the Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates to Sri Lanka. A very warm welcome to the program.
Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you very much for having us at the embassy today and sparing some time for us. And we're going to talk about your diplomatic career. So having a background in engineering from the University of Arizona and also having a very successful career in diplomacy, what really inspired you to get into foreign services, Your Excellency?
You know, my journey didn't start as a formal diplomat. As I said, I graduated as an engineer and then I started with the IT department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. From my interactions with the diplomat and diplomatic career, I found it very intriguing, that career. So after 14 years, I converted from engineering to diplomacy. And actually, when we think about diplomacy, you would say that it's a distinct discipline, but it is not. So diplomacy had to deal with politics, had to deal with economy, has to deal with cultural, security, military. So actually it's touching all the aspects. Now there's a new kind of diplomacy. There's a technology diplomacy, climate diplomacy. So you need somebody who has a technical background in these fields to be successful in achieving the goals.
Exactly, and I think, as you did mention, it has kind of expanded into different industries, different areas when it comes to diplomacy, which is fascinating, of course. And you've also, Your Excellency, held important roles focusing on Asia, and that is including the South Asia division and also heading the West Asia division as well. So how do you see Asia's potential as a global leader in economics and also politics?
You know, I wouldn't say potential because it's already a global player in the world. So the economic and political weight of Asia is huge right now. Let's see at East Asia, where's China, Japan, and Korea. They have accomplished very prosperous economies that's even larger than the European and the US economy. This is also moving toward Southeast Asia. So ASEAN now is becoming an economic bloc that's also with a significant weight. South Asia, I call it the dormant giant, because there's a lot of potential and it is starting right now to grow. You have so many factors in South Asia. You have the strategic location in the middle of Indian Ocean. You have the vast area. You have the huge consumer base. You have the immense resources. And all of these are factors that can be used to create a very huge market and very huge economies.
Exactly. And speaking of the United Arab Emirates, Your Excellency, it is known as a global business hub, and with diversified economic and also iconic landmarks like Burj Khalifa. What do you think are the main reasons for the success of United Arab Emirates?
You know, I wish to just say a very short story about the beginning. So this will say a lot. So His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the late founder of the UAE, in the 60s he was moving from a city of Al Ain to Abu Dhabi, and the road was just, there was no road.
Okay.
So they have just used four-wheel drives. So they have to stop in the midway to have a lunch and to relax. So when they stopped, he just went to a sand dune, and he stayed alone, thinking, you know, the Arabs, they use their stick to draw on the sand. And when his companion had the lunch ready, and they called him, one of his companions went, he was thinking, and he told him, the lunch is ready. He said, I was thinking how we can link the city of Abu Dhabi and link to city of Al Ain together so they can merge in one large city.
It's like forming a bridge.
Yes, it's not forming a bridge, it's becoming too large so they can touch.
Okay.
In the 60s, where you don't have roads, right now the distance you can just have it within less than 1 hour. At that time, it took about 14 hours. So the people, they couldn't imagine it, how this is becoming. Now it's not the city of Al Ain and Abu Dhabi merging together. Also, Dubai is becoming the one large city. And this is due to the vision that the leadership had at that time.
It's about connecting.
Connecting. So they had a vision. So I would say the accomplishment the UAE has right now, it's due to the leadership vision and the belief in this vision, and also the commitment and dedication. It's not only you can have vision, but without work you will not accomplish. But the belief in this vision and the dedication of the leadership and the people, this is built the UAE as you see it right now.
Exactly. So as Your Excellency did mention that it's quite a distance between UAE and Abu Dhabi previously, that's
yes.
like for 14 hours. But now when you say Abu Dhabi, for Sri Lankans like me, and from a layman's point of view, it's like, oh, it's a part of UAE, it's yes. just there. Yes. So I think, as you did mention, Your Excellency, it's about the vision and working towards the vision which leads to success. Mm-hmm. So speaking of which, the UAE has also supported Sri Lanka many a times, and it's during critical moments. Sri Lanka has been going through ups and downs for the past few years as well. So from the conflict, which was the LTTE era, and also to the tsunami and economic challenges, UAE has played a pivotal role in supporting us as well. So how would you describe the current relationship between the two nations?
You know, we have accomplished a lot in the last years as building the relationship between UAE and Sri Lanka. At the current time, we have more than 150,000 Sri Lankans living in the UAE, contributing to the prosperity of the UAE and their mother country. We have a trade that reached last year $1.9 billion. UAE is the sixth largest destination for Sri Lankan export. All of this is not a one-shot time, so it has accumulated. And still, with all what we accomplished, I think there's a lot to do. And there's a lot of potential in the relationship. There's a lot of growth in trade. There's a lot of growth in investment that we can see. And also the people-to-people interactions, also there's a lot to learn between the two cultures.
Exactly, so which means it's beyond trade, investment and tourism. Yes. So we have plenty of new areas to explore in terms of building the relationship between the two countries. And speaking of UAE's foreign policy, Your Excellency, it focuses on peace, prosperity and also human dignity. So how does this guide the UAE's role in addressing global challenges?
Our world is not a very stable world, and it's never been. And we're finding crises everywhere, whether it's a man-made crisis, whether it's a human-made crisis. In the UAE, we believe that the way to get out of this the crisis and recovery cycles is to build prosperity, and build prosperity for all. When you have accomplished something, you have a tendency to safeguard it. So when you have a development in the country, accomplishment by the people, they will safeguard it, so they will be reluctant to go to violence. So this is our belief, to have a prosperity that's stretched everywhere. And when you do this, when you help other countries to prosper, to progress, to build achievements, then the tendency to violence, the tendency of crisis, it becomes less. So this is what we are believing in UAE, and this is what we are working for. So we are expanding our trade partnerships. We are creating trade partnership with so many countries. We signed a free trade agreement with more than 11 countries right now, and negotiation in the pipeline. And this will increase the interaction between the countries and will increase share the prosperity among the countries and will help them develop more.
Speaking of prosperity, speaking of giving a hand to others, the UAE has been providing aid, urgent aid to Gaza, which is of course admirable. So how does the UAE see its role in finding long-term solutions to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
The crisis in Gaza is very devastating, and it's break the heart to see children and see the women and the elderly and people suffering over there. And this is not a one-time crisis. It's a repeating crisis every 2 and 3 years. We believe that humanitarian aid is necessary, but this is not enough. The UAE has contributed to the need of the time, which is humanitarian aid, medical aid. We created a bridge between the UAE and Gaza, delivering food, delivering health equipment, establishing hospital in Gaza, establishing water desalination plants in Gaza to provide water to the people over there. This is necessary and it's the need of the time. But there's an urgent need for a permanent solution. We cannot see the suffering of the Palestinian people continue this every 2 or 3 years. There has to be a permanent solution. And this is not only the thing that the Palestinian should seek only. It's the world should also encourage and support. We should march all the international community toward a permanent solution. In the UAE, we envision it as two-state solution. A state for Palestinians and a state of Israel living together in peace and stopping all of this killing, stopping all of this destruction. If this is not happened, then a temporary solution, this is not going to work. This is going to be repeated again after 2 or 3 years.
Exactly, and I think that this is also disturbing global peace as well, as you very correctly mentioned, Your Excellency. And shifting the topic a little bit about sustainability now, the UAE has declared the year 2024 as the year of sustainability. So, Your Excellency, can you tell us about the focus areas and also about the initiatives to promote sustainable development you're working on?
This year and even the last year, it was the years of sustainability in the UAE. And the importance of sustainability, it comes from our leadership passion about being responsible and being also creating an environment that can be sustainable for the next generations. So this last year, 2023, UAE was ranked 18th in the index for using renewable energy and clean technology. We created His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed initiative for water. Water is a very scarce resources, and it has been overused and overpopulated. This initiative will create an awareness for how we can conserve waters and how to use technology to preserve these scarce resources. Also setting an example. Yani we can talk a lot about sustainability and write books and write reports, but will not contribute so much to this important subject. We have to set an example. We have to be a model that put sustainability in on action. What we try to build is to build economy that's based on sustainability, that doesn't have overuse of resources, that conserve the resources, the current resources, reuse, recycle the current resources. So this is what we are trying to do, doing our part and being a model and setting an example in this field.
It's like having a vision and working towards it.
Yes,
So
yes.
Speaking a lot about sustainability won't do if you're not laying the groundwork or at least working on it to a certain extent. And the UAE also, now speaking of sustainability, we are shifting gears to climate change as well, which plays a major role in terms of the world measures right now. So the UAE took on the role of COP28 chair last November. So how has the country encouraged global cooperation to combat climate change?
I would say it's also linked to the sustainability. So our initiative of hosting COP28, the most prestigious climate meeting, is stemming from our need to contribute to preserving our environment, which is faced by a crisis that's facing everybody in this planet. And single action cannot work. So that's why we have to have a collective action. And this is what we were doing in COP28. In COP28, we marched 198 countries to sign Emirates declaration that's commit to the target of 1.5 degrees Celsius, not exceeding this target for the global warming. We also have succeeded in having agreement to operationalize damage and loss fund. This fund will help those who are in front line of climate crisis and they have limited abilities to face it. And there was a commitment of more than $700 million to this fund. We also had marched for 11 declaration and commitment, from preserving mangrove to lowering the heat emission from cooling system to health effects that's arising from climate change. All of these are accomplishment in COP28 with our international partners. As I said, a climate change crisis it's a global crisis faced by everybody, and it has to be treated with a collective effort.
Exactly, it's faced by everyone, so everyone should work towards coming to a solution
Yes.
for it together. And finally, Your Excellency, what are your priorities for strengthening the relationship between UAE and Sri Lanka as you work with Sri Lanka's new government?
Well, first of all, we're congratulating the new government and the trust that they got from the people of Sri Lanka, and we have been and we will be a good supporter and a permanent supporter to Sri Lanka and Sri Lankan needs. I think we will have to match our priorities, Sri Lankan priorities and the UAE priorities, and finding the common priority that we can work on. What I envision is that renewable energy is one of the aspects that we can work on.
Exactly, and we do see a lot of Sri Lankans visiting Dubai, and it has definitely been like a destination to go to for holidays for Sri Lankans. And Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for sparing your time and being a part of the show, Diplomatic Faces.
Thank you for hosting. Thank you for hosting me, and I wish all the best to our friends in Sri Lanka, and we tell them we are here as support. We are here as friends that can help, and we can work together in so many things.
Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
And with that, we will wrap things up on Diplomatic Faces for this edition. And on Diplomatic Faces today, we featured His Excellency Khalid Nasser Suleiman, the Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates to Sri Lanka. Have yourself a pleasant evening.